Hello and welcome to week 2. This is your instructor, Heather Burt, and I'm just going to go over a couple of things that you should keep in mind as you're working this week. So last week we started our exploration of art with Unit 1, Thinking About Art. And I want to go into this for a second because there are a few things that you should have done which will help you be successful in the course. First of all, you'll notice that this is the format of the course. Each week you will go to the content folder, and each week you will go to the unit, whichever unit we're on. From the units page, you can see that there is provided a schedule. And so you can just go down and make sure you're on the right week for what we're studying. Last week, as you notice, was a short week, and so is our final week in the course, which is only 2 days. So last week you had a pretty light week, and what you should have accomplished are the following things. However, if you have not accomplished these things, please go back and do them rather than moving on to Unit 2. So we started to think about what is art? How do we define art? And there is no one easy answer. There's no one easy answer in the art world. There's no one easy answer in art textbooks. There is not an easy answer among artists themselves who all have a different idea of what the confines or lack thereof of art should be. So it's an interesting question that we must dive into first before we go on to the rest of the arts. So you should have watched the videos provided for you. Let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 videos for the first week. In those 7 videos, you get a chance to look at a series of different approaches to what the arts are, and ask questions like, must art be beautiful? Or how is artwork inspired? Or why look at art? Because these are all from the same tree, the same root of what is art. So these are interesting additional thoughts in that argument, and I hope that you enjoyed going through them. Also, the textbook is provided right here for you. It is an open source textbook, which is wonderful because you do not need to buy a textbook for the course. You simply click on it and it's going to open to this page. You can click Open Download Textbook here, and you can also read it online, as it will take a while to load, but you can read it online. It will load up the PDF version of it. So that is super handy. I highly recommend that you download it so that you can have it on your device. You can airdrop it to your phone. You can use your Kindle or your iPad or your tablet of any kind if you would like to do that. Or you can just use it on your computer, like open it up in the PDF reader. So you don't have to be online all the time to be able to read it. It is actually a very good textbook. No textbook is perfect, but this textbook does go over more than just here are some famous artists. It goes over some important questions about art, like what is art, and art and power, and what types of art there are. So it's a broad approach to the arts, and it doesn't just look at the famous artists of art history and explain them and their work, but rather it provides a broad look at the arts as a whole and inspires you to engage with the arts. So that's why context and meaning are mentioned in the title. It's very important that as we look at arts, we consider them as a reflection of a society and as a reflection of an individual, as an individual identity or individual experience, life experience, somebody's experience that we're looking at. So here we go, where you're just going to be able to scroll through the textbook and read it at your own. Each week is clearly listed out what you need to read. So feel free to continue to go back to the content section of the course so you can see where you need to read. I also will be sending out an overview each week that helps you to stay on track. The syllabus also is a great way to see the dates and look at the assignments. But you are going to want to set aside some time to read this textbook. Not reading it would be a disservice to you. For one, because the journal entries all require that you reflect upon the textbook. It's really important that you incorporate the textbook into the journal entries so that I can see that you've learned something throughout the reading for the week. But also, because this is the bulk of the learning is through the textbook and also the other materials provided online. So I really want to encourage you to set aside the appropriate amount of time to get through the reading for the week. You'll always see at the top, you'll see what has to be done. And this week there's no, last week there was no reading, but as we dive into week 2, you're going to see that there is reading. So Unit 1, you should have completed this discussion. This discussion asks you to provide an example art piece of the criteria that you think best fits the definition for the arts. For each assignment or discussion, you will also see the due date attached. So please be mindful of those, and it's also in the syllabus. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. This week we are starting Unit 2. Everything must be turned in on the 28th. So be sure to try to wrap things up over the weekend, and everything will be turned in on Sunday. So for this week, you're going to read Chapter 1, What is Art? The chapters are not super long, but they're also not short. So that's why I said you do want to set aside the appropriate amount of time. You don't have a ton of reading each week. You don't have a lot of chapters. So just go ahead and plan accordingly. It depends on your reading speed. Everyone's different, but plan accordingly and try to get through that so that you can really enrich yourself with the ideas presented there. You'll also have videos each week. This week you have 3 videos that you're looking at, and then you're going to be working on a journal entry. So what is the goal of the journal entry? The goal of the journal entry is for you to reflect on what you learned for the week while answering the provided questions. You're also going to be showing me that you have completed the reading and watch the videos so that you're integrating them into your reading. So as you see, it says you must also integrate and cite the textbook while exploring this question. I want to let you know that that is for every journal entry within the course. Even though not everyone might not have this little note, it's really important that you see this as an opportunity to show me what you learned and then to contemplate the question at hand. What I encourage you to do is come in and look at what the question is for the week before you do your reading or before you listen to and watch the videos. That will help you as you're watching the videos or reading the textbook to answer your question as you're doing the work. And that's going to be a great way for you to already form your thesis as you prepare to write for the week. 450 words is not very long. Do make it thoughtful. So you're going to want to make a short argument and also include an example art piece. In a 450-word journal entry, using proper grammar and writing conventions, answer the question, why is art important in society? Include an example art piece to support your argument. You must provide the technical information for the art piece. Now, this is really important because this will be for every single assignment. The technical information is the title, the date, the artist, the medium, the dimensions of the piece, and the current location if it is known. If it's not known, you can say location unknown. For many ancient art pieces or pieces that have been lost to the art world, you may see on a website or on the museum websites, it will say location unknown or artist unknown or date unknown. That's okay. If any one of those factors are not known, you can just simply say date unknown, etc. So when you walk into a museum, you see a small plaque which has all of the technical information. And that's what you're including. And that's separate from the 450 words. That's not counted in the word count. So you do want to upload a JPEG. You can simply take a screenshot of it. You don't need to upload a full resolution image. Just take a screenshot of the art piece that you're discussing. It needs to be a JPEG or a PNG, I believe, to upload to Blackboard. So be mindful of that. And then you're going to include the technical information, and below that will be your 450-word entry. You want to have proper grammar and complete sentences and address the question in a thoughtful manner, referring to the textbook. You also want to cite the textbook in MLA. That's super easy. You can reference the MLA link that I will leave for you in this week's announcements. Or you can find the MLA, how to cite MLA, just by Googling how do I cite this textbook in MLA. So you're going to want to cite it at the bottom of your entry. This is due on August 28th. Please let me know if you have any questions. Have a great week.